Hello, my lovely library lions. I'm a little bit late in doing this, but I wanted to do the Booktube Newbie Tag. So I've been here about 2 months now. I still think that counts as fairly new. So this tag was invented by Bethany C. She unfortunately has unlisted the original video, so I can't link back to her. But it is a pretty popular tag, so I'm sure all of you have heard of it. And let's get started. Question number 1 is, why did you start this channel? I've always sort of wanted to do something on YouTube, but I was never quite sure what I wanted to end up doing. I did have a few channels when I was younger and in high school and stuff. I did random things, sort of. The biggest thing I did was I had just sort of a channel where I voice acted on YouTube for a while, but I fell out of that. And I started my blog about 5 years ago, and it seemed sort of natural to eventually move into doing YouTube about books when I already had a blog that I'd been running for so long. But it still took me a long time to sort of gather the confidence to actually create a YouTube channel, find a spot to film, start filming, figure out how to edit the videos a little bit. All of that had to come together. So it took me a lot longer. I've been wanting to do this for a while now, I'd say about a year or two, and I finally started. It's probably not a very unique origin story, but that's what it is. Question 2 is, what are some fun and unique things that you can bring to BookTube? So I'm not gonna lie, I'm a pretty basic booktuber. I'm just another white girl talking about mostly YA fantasy. There's nothing really special about that. I have been blogging in the book blogging community for about 5 years, so that is something that's a little different than many of the booktubers I see. I'm sure some of them do have blogs as well. But other than that, I'm not anything special. Everyone, of course, brings their own personality and likes and dislikes and sort of their own vibe to BookTube, but I don't have anything sort of above anyone else that I've seen doing this tag. I've seen some really good BookTube newbie tags that have just made me instantly subscribe to people who don't have any other videos, but I don't think this is going to be one that does that for people. Question number 3 is, what are you most excited for about this new channel? I'm honestly most excited to participate in the BookTube community. I've already started a read-along for the Song of the Lioness series, and I will link the channels hosting it down there. It is really fun. We've already done one live show last month in February, and I really enjoyed participating with everyone in there. I love commenting on people's videos, watching a bunch of different videos, and I do like actually filming and talking about books. I love to do like a monthly wrap-up and rant about the books that I didn't like and rave about the books that I did like. It's really fun to be able to get my thoughts out sort of with words instead of typing words. It's a lot easier and more natural to just talk about it like I'm talking to a friend. Question number 4 is, why do you love reading? That's sort of a hard question to answer. I've loved reading for as long as I can remember. It's a very sort of interactive form of media. With movies and TV shows, I find that they sort of give you everything and you don't really have to imagine anything. So I love reading because I can picture the characters how I want to picture them. I can read it at my own pace. I don't really feel like I have to binge. Sort of when I watch a TV series, I feel like I have to binge the whole thing, and I don't feel that way about books. I also think books look really lovely on a shelf, and I've never really enjoyed collecting DVDs or video games or anything like that. Reading is also great because it doesn't sort of ask a lot of me. I just need a nice, quiet, cozy spot. And books are actually the cheapest form of entertainment per minute, if you calculate that out. So it's a great, affordable hobby to have. Before I was really into video games, which was not so affordable. And I also was really frustrated playing games a lot of the time because sometimes you just can't get that puzzle, and it really would frustrate me, and it wasn't as relaxing as I wanted something that was my main hobby to be. With reading, obviously there's a lot of stress about who's going to get with who, and plot twists and that sort of thing, but it's also ultimately relaxing for me. Question number 5 is, what book got you into reading? This is a hard question to answer because I think it has sort of multiple answers. The first book I read was Boss for a Week, which was like a children's book, so that was the first book that actually got me to read. The first book I remember loving really deeply was obviously the Harry Potter series. My parents read that to me when I was young, and I ended up reading it myself, and I just fell in love with the series, the characters, and I wanted to read more books like that. I wanted to enter more worlds like that. And I read a lot during elementary school because of that, and then I sort of fell out of love with reading again in high school and university, And I want to say that sort of the Hunger Games got me back into reading in high school because that became really big. And there was the whole love triangle aspect. Everyone was talking about it. The movies were going to come out. And then I had another dip, and I sort of came back in when Divergent and Unwind were really big. And those got me to start my book blog, which got me really into reading. I don't think I've ever been as into reading as I am currently now. So Divergent and Unwind, while they're not sort of series that I'm as deeply in love with as Harry Potter, or even the Hunger Games, I feel like I owe them a lot for bringing me to the book blogging community and sort of letting me realize there are other people who also love reading and want to talk about it. Because before I was always in my own bubble with reading, or just with my friends in real life. I was never part of any community, I was never part of any book clubs, and now I have so many people I can connect with through books because of, I read Divergent and I wanted to write a review about it somewhere. Question number 6 is, what question would you ask your favorite booktubers? I don't really have an answer for this question. I think it would be different for every booktuber. I'd like to know what their favorite book is, who their favorite book boyfriend or girlfriend is, why they like certain books, why certain authors bother them. It would really depend on the booktuber, and I have so many favorites already, from like big obvious channels to little ones that I've just subscribed to recently. But I don't have any like overall question that I would ask that isn't already in a tag somewhere that I can find answered. It would really be specific per each booktuber what I would want to ask them specifically. Question number 7 is, what challenges in starting a booktube channel do you think will be the hardest to overcome? So I think sort of my hardest challenge is not focusing on the numbers so much, because I am actually doing this because I have fun doing it. I'm not doing it to try and make money off YouTube or sort of make this my career, and there's nothing wrong with doing that. That's obviously a legitimate career path if you want to follow it. But for me, it's just a fun hobby that I want to go into, and I still get focused on, well, why didn't this video do as well as this video that I released, or why are these videos doing poorly when last month these ones were doing really well, or I haven't gotten any subscribers this week, but I got 10 last week, so what am I doing wrong now? And that's not what I want to be doing here. I just want to be enjoying the community and enjoying making the videos, and if I stop having fun, I want to be able to stop doing it. It's not about how many people are watching them or how many subscribers I'm getting. I really just want to focus on the fun that I'm having filming these videos and editing them and uploading them and watching other people's. I just want to focus on the enjoyment of it. I don't want it to become another... I have a horrible habit of jobifying everything I do. Everything I do has to be quantified and productive and earning me something. And I just want to enjoy something. I just want to enjoy something because it's fun and not worry about what it's getting me in the long run. Not everything has to produce something for you. There's a wonderful quote by Hank Green, is that you will always struggle with not feeling productive until you accept that your own joy can be something you produce. And that's what I'm trying to do with my booktube channel. I just want to produce my own joy. Question number 8 is, when did you start reading? So I guess I started reading probably when I was pretty young. It would have been sort of grade 1 or kindergarten when I started reading sort of simple things, because my parents did teach me a lot at home, and I was always sort of in advanced reading classes throughout elementary, so I was always reading when I was young. Harry Potter's the first series I really got into reading the way that I read things now, where I'm invested in like the fandom and the characters and the stories. A lot of books when I was in elementary school I just picked up, read, and then was like, okay, and then forgot about it because they weren't significant to me. But I think I've always been reading throughout my whole life. I don't think I can pinpoint when I started reading, except this is when I learned to read, and after I learned to read, I kept reading from there on. So I don't think there's a specific time, a specific sort of age, or a specific point I can say this is when I started reading. I think I've been reading my whole life, and I hope to continue through the rest of it. Question number 9 is, where do you read? So currently I'm living with my boyfriend's parents, so I read in this little nook area. I think it's actually called a loft. It's like a loft, there's a comfy couch. I'll put some video of it over here. I have a blanket, there's a window that gets really good light, and when the light goes down, because it gets dark very early in Canada right now, I have another light that will shine directly into my book so that I can read very easily. It's not the quietest spot because you do hear all the noises from the house, and also the bedroom is right next to it so I can hear my boyfriend, but it is the best spot in the house for it right now, and it's very comfortable. I like being there. It's not forever, it's a temporary living situation, but I do enjoy reading there. I'm comfortable there, and that's the place where I've gotten a lot of reading done, more than I used to get when I lived with my parents at home. I'm not sure if that's the location or if I just have more time now. Question number 10 is, what sort of books do you like to read? So I think I'm mainly a YA reader still. I like to read a lot of YA fantasy, but I've started reading some adult fantasy, especially things written by authors that I loved when they were writing YA and then they moved into adult. I've been enjoying reading that. I do read some contemporary, but I've been falling out of love with YA contemporary recently. I'm not sure what it is, but a lot of it feels like it's reading sort of to the lower end of YA, or maybe I'm just getting old. I like a mystery now and then. It has to be really good to draw me in, so I'm not reading a bunch of mystery novels, but I do read some of the big ones that everyone loves, and I usually end up loving them. Not a romance reader. I'm looking to maybe read some romance novels here and there because I think maybe I just haven't found the right book to get me into the genre, but I've never been super into it. I'm not a classics reader either. My main genre is going to be fantasy. I also read a lot of manga of different genres. I'm trying to focus just on My Hero Academia, Fullmetal Alchemist, and Black Butler right now, and then after I'm done those, maybe I'll let myself read something else. But I would say my main genre is fantasy. That's what I'm most interested in reading. At the moment, we all change. I'll change eventually, and maybe I'll be really into science fiction or something. Question number 11, which I don't have enough fingers for. So, what does your book collection look like? You can see a bit of it here. I will do a full sort of pan over the current collection that I have. Unfortunately, because I'm living with my boyfriend's parents right now, a lot of my collection is in storage. I also did sort of like a massive on-haul. I'll probably do a video just showcasing all the books that I on-hauled, because they're just sitting in boxes marked for sale for when the lockdown ends, so I can bring them to my local sort of used bookstore and get rid of them that way or donate them to the library. Because of COVID, not a lot of places are taking book donations right now. But I will maybe do a video about the books I on-hauled. I had, I think, 500 or so books. Lots of them are in storage. These are my favorites. All my favorites got to come out to this shelf. But when I eventually move and get sort of a bigger shelf, I'll have more of my favorites displayed. But I did unhaul a lot of books because I realized I was keeping a bunch of books I hated. Like the ones that I didn't even like reading at all. And so I got rid of those, and hopefully now my book collection looks more like books that I actually enjoy reading, books that I had fun with. All these books I certainly loved, and I want to have my library, my collection, be full of books that I enjoyed, not just every book that I've ever read that I hoarded away for some reason like a dragon. So that was the Booktube Newbie Tag. I guess you know a little bit more about me and why I sort of made this channel. I always love watching other people's Booktube Newbie Tags, but I don't know if I'd watch my own. Maybe that's because I already know myself. Anyways, if any of you guys are ever wanting to start a booktube channel, I hope that you do. I would love to see new booktube newbie tags from any one of you, and I hope that you guys have a lovely day.